Good afternoon, adventurers. We are driving back to Poplar Bluff. We ran up to Eric's dad's house to get a very special package, a little bit of some new equipment that we'll be showing off in our next video, and to get a little more barbecue, because I have a feeling we're gonna miss it on the road, so we've been stocking up on the barbecue. But we thought we would take this opportunity to kind of take a look back at some of our favorite and maybe not so favorite meals we've had.
This was a video idea that we've had for a little while, and we've never really had the right opportunity to do it. So since we were just kind of driving today, we figured this would be it.
Plus, I think we're about to try a lot of really interesting dishes coming up, so it'll be nice to review the ones we've done over our past travels.
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep doing these like food recap videos, maybe, if this one goes well.
Yeah.
Okay, first item that I wanted to talk about was in a food video that we recently did when we went to St. Louis and tried a bunch of really cool foods. The final food we tried was the St. Louis style ribs, and those absolutely blew us away. They just were so juicy, they fell right off the bone, they tasted amazing. We were so surprised that St. Louis had such awesome barbecue, because we've had a lot of awesome barbecue in Texas, and we had no idea that it was so good in Missouri.
It is so good.
And I mean, we've lived near St. Louis and been back around the St. Louis area so many times over the past, 15 years. I can't believe that we had not had the barbecued ribs.
St. Louis barbecue.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Until now. But it's a game changer, I'd say.
Yeah.
Up next is going a little further south. When we were in Costa Rica, we tried a dish called Petticoat Ace, which is fried green plantains. You fry them for a little bit, you mush them, and then you fry them again, so they're these nice crisp little patties, and then you dip them in bean dip, and it was one of our favorite things ever. We make them all the time now.
Yeah, when we were in Costa Rica, we started making them at our Airbnb that we were staying in because we liked them so much, so we had a ton of them when we were down there.
Oh yeah, we've been sharing the recipe with everyone, because, I mean, plantains are not something, at least growing up in the Midwest, that we ever were exposed to.
Yeah, they're not common around.
No, so every time we find them in a grocery store now, we're like, well, I guess we're having Petticoat Ace tonight.
Next up, I wanted to talk about the sopes that we had in Mexico. Sopes are kind of like this thick tortilla, and you just put a bunch of goodies on top of them. And the first time we had them, we were just kind of goofing around in Cancun, I think. And we just found this random kitchen. It literally looked like we were walking into somebody's kitchen. And they served us. I decided to order the sopes, and they were absolutely delicious, and they blew us away. And then we ended up making them a couple nights later, and we ended up ordering them all the time throughout our trip in Mexico, and it's one of our new favorites.
The next one that I would like to mention is the brunost cheese. Is that how you pronounce it?
Brunost or Brunost?
Brunost. We were in Norway, and I read about this brown cheese that was supposed to be like a big thing there, and I was like, well, this is weird, I've never heard of brown cheese. It was supposed to be kind of sweet, and we weren't expecting to like it so much, but it was one of the best dishes we had that day.
If they had it around here, we would order it.
Oh yeah,
we would get it all over the place.
Yeah, our host said that when she would come back to the States, she would bring packages of that cheese for her friends and stuff to try, I guess.
It was super creamy, caramelly, lightly sweet, but not too sweet.
Yeah, and we had it on this brown bread. I think you can do it a bazillion different ways, but the way we had it was at a coffee shop on this brown bread, and it was just the greatest way to start the day.
So moving west of Norway, the next dish I wanted to talk about was, I think it's pronounced harfisker.
Harfisker?
Something like that. You guys can let us know how to properly pronounce it, because it's really difficult. It's like this dried fish that's really flaky. It's almost like fish jerky, kind of papery, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird texture.
And it sounds bad, but it feels like when you eat it, it feels like you can't bite into it. But as you as it moves around in your mouth, it starts to loosen up. And it has tons of flavor in it. You eat it with butter, and it tastes really good, and it starts to kind of melt in your mouth.
It's this salted butter that you put on it.
Yeah, it was
it's
so
magical.
Good. But it was really expensive there, and any other place we see it, it's pretty expensive, so we never get to buy it. It was just kind of a special thing for that day. But we really want to try that again, and unfortunately they don't really have it here, but if we see it again, we're going to give that a try.
So we can't talk about our favorite foods without mentioning some of our favorite desserts. First up, I would like to expose you all to, if you have not already seen it, the maple bacon donut that we got from a food truck called Gordo's in Austin, Texas. Oh my goodness. I don't think we were prepared for the amazingness that ensued.
Oh my god.
Was it good? Ew. We walked away considerably heavier.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, it's
that meal.
impossible to finish that donut. Or any of those donuts, but the maple bacon was just
They were just insanely good.
Yeah, it was
Like,
a
they were
slice of
stupidly
heaven.
good.
It was amazing.
Next up in our Hungarian food video, we got a dessert that's called Chimney Cake. Now, we had never heard of this, so that's why we were so excited to try it. But it's actually this pastry that's shaped like a chimney. It's hollow on the inside, and they put sugar and some stuff on the outside, and then they kind of bake it or toast it. And it makes it all like brown and warm on the outside and kind of caramelly, and then on the inside it's flaky, and it's really good, and they have tons of different flavors, and it was just such a unique dessert.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Or you could do it for breakfast if you're into sweets for breakfast. It was great with coffee and tea. Okay, and our final dessert, we went to Pave and got these
In Milan, right?
Yeah, in Milan, sorry.
Yeah.
And we got these croissants stuffed with, I think one was chocolate and one was custard. And oh my gosh, we thought croissants were beautiful on their own, but when you stuff
them with chocolate and custard,
woo,
they're
Lord.
next level. They were so good. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit, talk about some of the worst foods we've tried. Now, if you guys watch our food videos, you know that we usually like most of the foods that we try. We're pretty open-minded, but some of them just didn't work with us, didn't sit well with us. One of them, the first one, was when we tried fermented shark in Iceland. We had no idea what to expect, but they come in these little bitty pieces in this tiny little jar.
With like a lid shut on it so that you don't...
so that you can't smell it because it'll kill you. It doesn't smell good. And when you open it up, it has this like alcohol-y formaldehyde kind of smell.
Like ammonia?
It basically punches you in the face, and then you put it in your mouth, and it's like 10 times worse.
It's like squishy, and it doesn't quite taste as bad as it smells, but it is by no means good.
And I'm sorry to our Icelandic viewers. We gave it a try, but we just couldn't stomach it. Maybe we'll give it another try, and we'll keep an open mind. Maybe we'll like it. I don't know.
I don't know. So speaking of Iceland, we also really disliked the sheep's head. Some of you might remember I specifically really, really disliked the sheep's head.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? I didn't think it was that bad.
I don't think I can look at it anymore.
And I think it's probably because we got a really bad one, maybe. It was off season for sheep's head, I think. But it was pretty much the grossest thing I've ever tried. Maybe worse than the shark.
I actually ate a good bit of the sheep's head. It wasn't quite as bad to me as it was to her, but I'm realizing that like tongue and face and brain and anything in the head region, all those meats kind of have this off kind of taste to me. I don't know if my palate's just different, but they never quite taste right.
No.
They always taste a little bit like they're not
like
fresh.
Kind of moldy,
you know?
or like irony.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's just something about face meats just don't sit well with me. But we tried it.
Face meat.
Yeah, face meat.
Speaking of face meat, and things like that, cow brains is another one that I very much disliked, which we tried in Mexico.
Cow brain quesadilla.
Cow brain quesadilla. Our friend Julio got it and was gracious enough to let us try it. And I'm glad that I didn't order it on my own because it tasted like old fish with the texture of ground beef.
Oh, it is straight up seafood.
And it was not good.
Yeah, and it's the type of thing I'll try again. But because I want to try it at a different place or maybe in a different country. But that particular quesadilla, it just, again, you know, like the face meat and the brains and stuff, they all are just a little off, you know?
But maybe if you grow up eating it, it's fine. And
Sure.
you love it. I don't know.
Next up is a drink. This drink is called pulque, and it's very popular in Mexico. I guess that it's kind of had a renaissance of it. It's come back into popularity because it was an old school drink.
It's made from
ages ago.
Fermented agave?
Fermented agave. And we've tried this drink in Mexico, and it's really strange. It's super thick, and the taste is just a little off. You know,
it's really off.
And we've tried to like it, and it comes in a bunch of flavors, and some of the flavors are better than others, but we just got the plain one, and it's gross. It's like a weird viscous kind of hair cream or something.
There's no good way to describe pulque in my opinion. The flavors are not so bad. I mean, they're still gross. The plain smells like a baby diaper, and then the texture is like creamy,
it's slimy. It's just slimy.
thick. It's just, and there's hardly any alcohol. I don't know why you would drink it.
So sorry to our Mexican viewers, because I'm sure some of you really like pulque, and we're gonna keep trying it because maybe we'll develop a taste for it. We tried it again on our last trip to Mexico, and it was a little bit better, so we're gonna keep trying it.
And then we have a couple dishes that aren't necessarily the worst, but just some of them that like
we had a hard time with.
Yeah, I think the first step was the fried crickets, also in Mexico.
They were grasshoppers, actually.
Or grasshoppers, yeah. It's not that they tasted bad. They were very well seasoned, but just, I mean, it's a bug. You're just eating a little
when you
bug.
eat it, you like feel the grasshopper legs crunching and kind of getting stuck in your teeth. And
Oh yeah. Have you ever had a cricket leg or grasshopper leg stuck in your teeth?
The worst part though is I have little like bits of legs and stuff in my teeth.
It's the kind of thing that I could see getting used to, because by the end of the trip I was able to kind of eat them and not feel so weird about it, but the first bite was a little strange. Now we gotta finish the bag.
Oh God.
Who wants more crickets? Next up was the hot chicken that we tried in Nashville. The chicken was amazing.
Oh, so
but
good.
it was just so freaking hot. Now, if you love spicy stuff, this is right up your alley, because some people just eat that stuff up, but for me, it was just next level hot, and it made it to where I couldn't even finish the chicken, and it was a fun experience, but I would not do that one again. That is not going to happen.
No, we would
for me.
definitely, medium heat is the highest we would probably go. We got the hot. That isn't even the hottest. They have like super hot, but it was just the kind that you're just like in tears and you're like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah, and your nose is running.
Yeah, it's not a date
experience.
food at all.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this little recap video. We're going to have a ton more food adventures coming up in the rest of the year. I hope you guys are as excited about that as we are. And a huge thank you to everyone for all the suggestions that they've given us on all of our other food videos. We're definitely going to be trying a lot of these foods out as we make our way around the rest of the world.
And with that, we'll leave you here. Goodbye, adventurers.
We'll see you on the road.